You ready? Let's go.
Good afternoon. I have acquired a selfie stick. So far, so good. Seems a little easier to carry. I'm going up the big steep hill, so we'll see. Give me a second. What I wanted to talk about today was how to not put your worth into something someone else says or does or doesn't say or do. For example, take someone you're close to, have it be a parent, child, partner, teacher, friend, and you want them to behave a certain way or not behave a certain way, and they won't do it because they can't, they don't want to, that's not their path, whatever the reason is. Then you start to feel like, man, there must be something wrong with me, because if they loved me, they would do X, Y, or Z. And that's where you get tripped up, because your worth is not tied to anybody else. And I'm going through that right now. And I have to just remember why I'm here, to do my path, not anybody else's. No matter how much I think I can help someone or save them, that's not going to work. And right now it's learning to trust that my path is my path, and that might be saying goodbye to that person, no matter who they are. And what I'm seeing big time is that I grip on to things, relationships, feelings, how things are supposed to be. Because I have this notion that there's a certain way my life is supposed to go, and I attach myself to that. And when it starts to veer off that path, I panic, because I don't like being in the unknown. I don't like things not going as planned. And that's what I'm learning right now, how to accept and let go. And that's a tough one for me, to let go of someone who I really love, because I'm not God for them and I can't control what happens in their life. And also detaching from the pain and the sadness of that relationship if it were to end. And what I'm really trying to grasp onto right now is that everything happens for a reason. Certain people come into your lives only for a short period of time or a long period of time, and nothing is forever. And that's a hard thing for me to grasp, because when I was young, the only things that felt safe were the things I could control, the things that made sense. And that's not what life's about. So I'm learning right now to just let go and accept what is, what comes at me. Made it up the big hill. I grew up with an alcoholic father, which has affected so much of my life. And I'm not blaming him. I'm not condemning him. It's just led me to understand the way I am now and what makes me afraid and the things I believe. A big part of feeling safe is having secure attachments when you're younger and feeling that safety and experiencing it. So when you don't experience it as a young child, your body goes into survival mode, or better known as fight or flight. And so then the natural parts of development are put on hold to keep you alive, in essence. And so now that I'm older, it's learning those developmental stages that I missed when I was younger, and reteaching myself how to feel safe, how to feel loved, how to feel worthy and enough. Having grown up in a home with an alcoholic, I really picked up on focusing on that person and my life evolving around that person to keep myself safe. And so now I'm replaying that in my relationships in life, instead of letting be what is meant to be and accepting that I can't control a lot of things and that that's okay. Keep reminding myself that I will be okay. A big part of what's coming up for me in my life is, like I said, showing up in one of my relationships where it replays a little bit like when I was younger, that I am feeling that this person can make or break my world. It's feeling like the attachment to this person can change how I feel. And I know you're going to say, well, yeah, duh, if someone you love leaves your life, you're going to feel hurt, you're going to feel sad. And what I'm learning is that those feelings of sad and hurt, it's not from my relationship or attachment to that person. It's my relationship and attachment to me. Does that make sense? So when I was younger, I detached from myself to pay attention to the other person in order to keep me safe. And therefore, I was leaving myself and then feeling these negative emotions and then placing the blame on the person who was in front of me. So for instance, if I was upset about something my dad did, abandoning me, lying, what was happening was I was putting my focus on him, but I was leaving me. I was leaving my body, and then I was getting upset at me for abandoning me, but he was the one there, so I blamed him. That can be a hard thing to grasp, and I'm still learning that. I'm still accepting that. And the reason why it makes sense to me is because when I sit with me and I ask what I want, it is for my presence with me, because nobody else can give me that. And so it's taking responsibility for how I feel, for every feeling, every thought, every belief. It's nobody else doing it to you. It's you with you. And you are the one that can make you feel better, not anybody else. And if you solidify that relationship with you, no one can take that away. And then you can then choose to have certain relationships in your life, whether you want to or not. Not a feeling of, I have to have this to make me feel a certain way. So that is a big thing that I'm learning, awakening to right now. I don't know if I'm holding this thing straight. We'll see. We'll see when the video comes out. So that was a big thing for me to share. I have a hard time sharing that part of my past because I have been afraid to hurt people's feelings. And that's not at all what this video is about. It's about sharing things that I've gone through and that I know a lot of people in this world have gone through or are going through, and to know that you're not alone. Sometimes it can feel like the worst situation in the world and it's never going to end and it's never going to get better. It does. It always does. You have to have that trust in yourself and that foundational relationship with yourself first. And that takes time. I'm still learning. I still have a lot to learn. The only thing I know for sure is that I feel good when I repair that relationship with me. I don't need anybody else to do that. And that all starts with compassion for you, for yourself, and forgiveness for the things you didn't know when you were younger because you were never taught them. And so you behaved in a way of where your knowing was at. And that's okay. And so when you start to learn more and know more, then you'll do better. If you stay in that stuck place, then you can kick your butt. But when you don't know any better, it's just like Abraham says, when a kid is learning to walk and they keep falling down, you don't say, get up, you little dummy. You just keep encouraging them, and you know one day they will walk. So have that same trust in yourself for getting to where you want to go. Everything takes time. Console that little kid who doesn't know how to do this because you were never taught. Let me recap what I've said in this video. If you're somebody who puts your worth, your value, your lovability in somebody else, what they say or do or how they treat you, it could very well be because of how you grew up when you were younger, how you saw relationships and the things you did in order to receive love. And growing up in a home with an addict or an alcoholic, those were very challenging environments to thrive because you were always often in survival mode. You didn't know what was coming next. You were blindsided a lot. You didn't trust people. And when you grew up, you learned that controlling everything around you kept you safe. That was the only thing that made you feel safe. And so now that you're older, your relationships tend to mirror the relationships that you learned when you were younger. If I can control everything and know exactly what's going to happen, I'm okay. And unfortunately, that's not how life works. You can't control anybody. And the more you try, the more hurt you're going to be. And the more difficult your life is going to be. And that's exactly what I'm going through right now. Learning to accept and focus on me and give myself that love and attention, because truly nobody else can give that to me. And to not be hard on myself, because of course I'm not going to know this, because I never learned when I was younger. And so it's not beating up on myself, having compassion for me, forgiving myself, and then learning and then doing better. Because now I know a little more, so I can do a little better. And I really hope this video finds somebody out there who needs to hear these words. And with that, I will end this video. And remember that you're not alone. You always have yourself, that core soul part of you, that God part, whatever you'd like to call it. So you can never be alone. And work on that first. And I hope you have a great snowy or sunny, rainy, whatever it is, day. Bye.